Yeah, so we had 3 little ones all diagnosed with autism, the 2 boys ADHD as well. So life was crazy, really busy. And the kids are so close in age as well. So it's kind of like having triplets that all have autism. So it was crazy. I couldn't take the kids shopping. I couldn't handle the 3 of them on my own outside the house because they would all go in different directions, or one would be having a meltdown, one would be screaming because of the noise in the shopping centre, or, you know, the other one was freaking out about their feet or their shoes or something, you know. So it was so hard to do anything. And even at home, like dinner times, Levi would just be running around the house, gagging on his food because it was a sensory thing. Elijah didn't know how to walk. He just ran a million miles an hour everywhere, didn't he?
Like the Flash.
Yeah, you know, and if he didn't know someone was coming around the corner, bang, you know, it'd be like this massive collision. But he just couldn't slow his body down. He was just like an Energizer bunny. Maya, she...
Disorganised.
Yeah, just sort of dishevelled and sort of disorganised, and lots of sensory issues, brushing her hair.
Struggling with her brothers too, though.
Yeah, you know, yeah, all the 3 kids struggled to get along with each other. So there was lots of fights, lots of tension. You know, one would set the other off, most times not intentionally, just because of their own little, you know, personalities and little things that would bother them.
Just really small amounts of calm.
Yeah.
But calm would only come in like it was enough that you would notice, you'd be like, oh, the house is quiet. And you really, is someone dead? Like, what's happened?
But even bedtimes, it could take us 3 hours to get the kids to sleep. It was, you know, the boys would bounce from bed to bed to bed to bed. You know, they would do backflips.
You know what that's like, to add 3 hours to the end of your day every day?
Just to try and get them to
3
sleep.
hours every day.
It was crazy.
Tough.
Yeah. Levi always really struggled to dress himself, to put on his shorts or put on his shirt.
Even to dry himself.
Do you
remember when we sent Josh a text message?
Yeah.
Levi got a towel and he dried himself with the towel, and that
it
was a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, I said to her, like, we do all these therapies and nothing changes. And I said, so it seems to me that whatever they're doing, they're not doing it well, or it's not targeting the areas they need to target.
Yeah.
Just looking at maybe just 10% of the equation, and that's all they're focused on. So an OT only does this, or a speechy only does this. And I was like, but like, what if there's this overarching meta rule that just governs all of it and no one's paying attention to it? The government's spending all this money, and they're like, you know, they're going to start cutting funding, and nothing's changing, and the numbers of autism are going up, and like, there must be a better way, surely. And you know, when I was reading that book and it talked about the left and right hemispheres and stuff, and I was explaining to Kai, I was like, this makes sense, you know? And she was like, great. And I said, yeah, the second half of the book is all about the exercises you've got to do. I'm like, it's like a Bible. I said, I don't know what we're going to do then. I said, I'll just read it and we'll figure it out when we get to there, you know? When we realised we had some challenges at home, I came back from the mines where I was working. Kylie sold her business where she was working.
Yeah.
We lived on our savings for a year, and we just put all our time into our kids. And we were being hands-on, like, we were able to do everything that all the other families do, but it was just 1,000 times harder for us.
Yeah, so I suppose once you read that book and we decided, okay, we need to do this because it just made sense. So we thought, okay, the plan is we'll go to our OT, we'll get them to implement it, but we just kind of were like...
And if they won't, we'll go to someone else who will.
Yeah, you know, we'll just see if we can find someone. Yeah. And then we thought, you know what, let's just go to America. We started saving our money, put it all away. We were going to go to
Forgot about that.
Yeah, go to the Brain Balance Centre, get them to give us the program, then we would come home and implement it ourselves. Then COVID happened. And then
we were booked and ready to go.
Yep. And
tickets booked, everything.
And then we ended up having Josh and Tace come over, and we got talking, and then you gave Josh the book, and then Josh just ran with it, trained with Dr. Malello,
did everything,
and then worked with our kids. And night and day difference now, isn't it?
Now,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they're still kids. They're still
busy.
You have two boys who are 8 and 7, and they're rambunctious for sure. But it's night and day.
Yeah.
Like when Josh, we had like, I think the best thing we did was take a baseline score where we wrote everything down, and then we revisited that, however, like 6 weeks later or however long later it was, and to see the difference in the scores between, like, even Kylie and I were like, oh wow, remember that? Oh,
in the
I remember
hyperactivity
that.
scores.
Yeah, you forget a lot of things. Like when you live with a high amount of craziness, when it starts to die off, sometimes I think you're so tired you don't realise that it's dying off because you're still just keeping your head above water.
Yeah, but honestly, like the changes that we saw in all three of our kids from doing the Connected Kidz program was...
Well, you can take them anywhere now.
Yeah, I can take them by myself to the shop, which is amazing. You know, at school, he got the most improved award out of the whole school, and for good behaviour, attitude, and being compliant, and does what he's asked to do. And that was massive for Levi, you know.
Well, that's a kid who, far out, wouldn't stay at school, was afraid to go to school, and then would leave school, abscond, would run out the gate and just disappear. There's a kid now who gets out of the car and loves going to school.
Runs into school.
And his brother, who we literally had hanging onto the side of the car, and the principal, they'd have 3 or 4 teachers trying to get this kid to bribe him. We would have weekly bribes. If you go today, you get this tonight. That's where we were at. And now they jump out of the car. You don't even hear them. They jump out of the car, they're gone. See you, Mum. Gone.
Yeah. But Elijah, I remember every morning it would take us 2 hours to get his shoes and socks on.
Yeah.
Every single day. It was just like he had needles under his feet and they just hurt and he could not wear them.
I bought him a motorbike to try and get him to overcome some of his sensory issues. I was like, I'll buy you a motorbike, but you're going to have to put a helmet on and shoes on.
Yeah.
I spent $2,000 on a sensory issue and I didn't need to.
And now he wears, because he could never wear sneakers or socks, but now he wears proper school shoes, so like big hard school shoes, socks. He wears the school shorts with the zip and the button, and then all the buttons down the shirt.
Shirt tucked in.
Yeah. You know, that never would have happened.
We bought, how many pairs of school shoes when school started? We bought 5 or 6 pairs of school shoes and we tried every one of them. We did a week with socks and thongs. We did everything. And now it's a case of like, he'll say to you, oh, these aren't very comfortable, and we're like, yeah, but you've got to wear them, and he says, okay.
Yeah.
Like it's you can't imagine what that's like when you spend hours trying to get someone. Like, he's still a little bit funny about the tags on his shirts, but that's it.
That's okay.
I'll cut those things off, no problem. I'll take it.
I mean, we have done the hard yards with therapists. You know, all 3 kids have done speech, OT, and psychology every fortnight, pretty much since they were 3 years old. I mean, we're used to the hard yards of going through all the therapy, but with Connected Kidz, it's so simple, you know, like you can choose to have them come to your house and do it over Zoom, you know, so you just get home from school, put the computer on, log on to Zoom, and you know, they start doing their session. And
usually I walk in the door in the afternoon and Levi's on a mat on the floor talking to Josh on the computer, and I say, hi Josh, hi Levi, and he gets back to it and he's doing it, you know?
But I think too it's engaging for them too, like it's not as if, oh, I've got to do this again, you know, do I have to go? They come home, they get on, they just do it, you know, so it's really simple, but the benefits from it are just amazing.
Kylie and I, like, it's that mum and dad thing, you know, like mum always wants to do more, dad always says we're probably pushing them a little bit too hard, and so we always have this we're always trying to strike a balance between what's best for our kids and when we're pushing them too hard. And we do push them, like we don't make life easy for them. We don't try and change the environment for them. We try to get them ready for the environment they're going to face. We've always taken that sort of road. But so many times Kylie and I, we've talked about like, okay, we've got too many therapies, what therapy are we going to drop? And lately the conversation has kind of been like, it's centered around this idea of, well, I'm prepared to stop everything else we do and just do Connected Kidz.
Yep.
Because that's the only one that we've seen actual measurable change with, you know. I've seen my kids go to a speech therapist for years and nothing happened. Like nothing. I watched the lady play trains with my kid and I'm like, why are we paying how many hundreds of dollars an hour for this and nothing happens? Like nothing happens. But this is probably the only therapy I would not be without, I think.
Yeah, I would increase.
Yeah.
Increase the amount of time that you would do it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest problems we had with Elijah was his constipation. He just wasn't going. It could be maybe once or twice a week at some stages, you know.
He was eating.
And he was eating, yeah.
He
was eating a lot. And just, you could tell that he was just not himself because he was just...
Like,
I think it was just making him feel yuck, you know.
Any kid that's constipated gets cranky.
Yeah,
Cranky.
It was just cranky at the drop of a hat all the time. But then start doing the program and the nutrition side of it.
But we tried other things for him too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like we were at one point, I remember you were giving him Movacol every day for 7 days and
twice a day,
7 days. Like it was a full routine.
Yeah.
And he seemed like he would either go from diarrhea, like from constipated to diarrhea in a heartbeat, but it wouldn't regulate it.
No.
So it was either like feast or famine.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know.
Yeah.
But in the worst possible way.
Yeah. But once we started the program and the nutrition side of it specifically, he started to go, and it was more regular, and then it was like every day. And
you
the
can measure
change,
that. That's easy to measure.
Yeah, absolutely. And the change in him, he was so much, I suppose, lighter inside, but so much lighter in his personality and
easy going.
just and just happier. You know, I think that was the biggest change that we saw in Elijah.
And that one's kind of free too, because you know, once you know what they need to eat and some of these things, you can continue it on and you can be in control of that. So we know, like, it's an easy canary in the coal mine when Elijah gets constipated again. We're like, hey, what are we eating, or what have we been doing?
Levi, you know, just he's had massive improvements even academically. You know, like
everyone says it.
We could not even get him to sit down and do homework, so we just blew that off. Wouldn't even go there because he would be running around. He would get anxious and antsy, and
he'd get anxious and antsy at everything. Dinner time, anytime there was a crowded shopping centre, like just anywhere, they would be anxious. But like, it's not even just that Kylie and I notice it. Everywhere we go, like where we're regulars, so school or church or friends, everyone says, wow, your kids are so different now. Like, especially the boys. So, you know, especially with Levi. You know?
I mean, we could never even go out to dinner as a family, and we do that quite regularly. I think I'm passionate about, you know, I've sat with so many parents with kids with special needs, and every parent, you know, says the same thing and has the same heartache and hurdles, and oh gosh.
It's the mum thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you just want to
Autism
tell
mum.
Everybody, you know, just come and have a look at this and try it. You know, that you're not going to lose anything. You just need to see what it can do, you know, because it's amazing and it
Imagine
works.
if I could give you back 6 hours of your life every day or every week, because that's what you can have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the amount of travel time going to appointments and stuff, you know.
Imagine you can have quality time, husband and wife again.
Yeah.
You can sit down at the end of the night and you're not stressed. You can enjoy your time. You can have a bit of your life back.
But also too, for the kids to have more, to be more comfortable within themselves, you know, to not be so irritated or uncomfortable in their skin, you know, just to see them more calm.
Not disconnected.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and engaging better with friends and with other people.
Just with their own body.
Yeah.
Just like they feel like they look like they're back in balance again, and little things aren't big things anymore.
Yeah.
Little things are little things.
Yep.